Listen, everything you thought you knew about the first date is probably wrong. Men are coming into this and they're like trying to make it this Mary Poppins gigantic affair. They've finally worked up the nerve to ask a girl out. They somehow managed to get her phone number. And then they go to Reddit and then they go to their dad or their mom or their sister, like, oh my God, what's the perfect first date? And they start thinking about like white tablecloths on the table and shiny champagne flutes and silverware and big first dates. And look, it's going to box you into this little expensive, time constrained trap where the girl could just be miserable and you might not even like her. And then you're halfway through this date and you're like, what do I do now? Today, we're going to talk about the 4 point framework of the perfect first date. Super simple, down to principles, how to repeat this, how to do it anywhere, how to do it with any girl, and how to do it on very short notice. And then I'll go through 9 tips to help you pull it off. First, though, you have to understand the pain that goes into this. You have to understand why this matters so much to understand what a perfect first date is and to understand how to ask her out, how to get her on that. Most guys, if you're like me in the past, I went through this. Raise your hand if you're a normal dude that wondered how to ask girls out, if you're a normal dude that wondered if you were doing this right. Most guys takes them like an hour on some benign phone call or ridiculous small talk conversation to finally work up the nerve to ask this girl out. And you start really falling into some common pitfalls like these. So you start nervously following up to see if she's still interested. Maybe you ask her out on Monday, you set the date out for Thursday. Well, you'll be texting like Tuesday, we still on for Thursday? Wednesday, we still on for Thursday? Thursday, hey, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Just wanted to know, are you excited about tonight? So you do these weird little needy, thirsty things that turn girls off. So you like ruin all the mystery and then start chasing this girl away. Another thing is you get into this idea where you have to have this awkwardly expensive first date. Like you're somehow going to win this girl's heart on the first date. I remember I met this girl at a strip club of all places. She was the bartender in the front. It was in New York. You could still go in. It was a respectable place to have a steak. I think it was called Cheetahs back then. And the bartender was really cute. So I would stop by after work, walking home, hang out, and I had tickets to Phantom of the Opera. Well, I invited this girl out to Phantom of the Opera. And this was before I really understood good dating. And I thought, oh, wow, this is so cool. I'm going to knock her socks off, taking her to Broadway. I remember in that date, she kept opening her phone. She was looking at her phone, and I really dug these things, man. And I just remember looking over, like early on, I took my program and I like swatted her on the leg. And I was like, put your phone away. What's the matter with you? I realized, wow, this is really weird. But now I'm trapped. Like the show hasn't, we haven't hit intermission. Another problem here, especially on first dates, guys will find themselves like, did she have a good time? Does she like me? Did I say enough? Did I not say enough? It's all a big wash. And when you get into the perfect first date, when you do it right, she's texting you. When I cracked this nut, when I finally started following this 4 point framework, really 60% of the girls, they would message me. If the date was on Thursday, I'd get a message from them around 11 a.m. or noon. Hey, just wanted to make sure we were still on. What didn't happen is that you weren't chasing her. Now all of a sudden she felt a little anxiety. Is this something I said? Did he see something on Instagram? Is this guy gonna take me out? I don't want to waste my time. And it opens up this place where you can have a joke with her. I used to come back and say, hey, Becky, of course. Don't tell me you date a bunch of guys that stand you up all the time. And then all of a sudden she feels this wave of relief. She's laughing. Ha ha ha. Oh, no, of course not. I just wanted to know. I just wanted to make sure. So she's chasing you. She's texting you. You guys find yourself, and this is key. We're going to talk about the main principle here in a minute, but you guys find yourself in a light-hearted, fun environment. It was fun. You guys went to multiple places. When you crossed the street, you held her hand, and then either she let it go shortly after that or she hung on to it for a minute. The girl I'm married to now, I just grabbed her hand when I crossed the street. She didn't let that thing go until we got to the first bar. And that's not me holding on to this weird. I want you to feel this. I want you to know this. This is a girl that's into you. This is a girl that's been looking forward to the date all week. By the third location, she's like locking her fingers in between yours. She'll brush up against your shoulder. She's giving you kiss me signals. When you finally do the first kiss, she lunges into you. Like you have created so much tension, you have created so much sexual energy that by the time there's this, I can't do it on the camera, it's gonna look ridiculous, but there's this weird pining. She's looking up at you, and then she realizes that the moment's going to come. She floods into your arms. She kisses you. She starts pulling the heavy petting. You end on a high note. You close it down. You bring her back to the car. Open that door for her. Maybe give her a twirl. And you said, hey, I had fun. You turn around on your heels, walk off. Just feel this accomplishment for a minute. Feel the success in this. That's the perfect first date. This is what I want you to feel. This is what I want you getting yourself into consistently. And you can do this on a half a day's notice, hours notice, really, if you know your town very well. So, welcome back to another episode of 4x4 Recall. This is the show for men who stand for something. It's for the men who want to unlock the new man inside of them and win big against the rigged games that have been holding you back. I know the challenges you faced this far. I know what it means to try and fail. We're here to tell you it's okay to be fed up and it's okay to be suspicious. Society's been playing you this whole time. The game really has been rigged. You can end that today with a simple protocol: unlock and win big. So follow me and remember that you stand for something. All right, the framework. So the perfect first date has four essential points to it. We're going to go through these quickly because I really want to get you into the tactical tips of how to set this up perfectly. But pay attention to these. Take some notes. Raise your hand right now. Are you a 4x4 man? Are you a dude that wants to date more women? Are you a dude that doesn't want to feel stress around how it feels to set the date, how it feels to wonder where you're going? Okay, if that's you. Sit down, buckle up, write some notes. First thing I want you to do is just tone everything way down. Go look up some of the other episodes where I talk about how to get phone numbers, how to fill your top of funnel. But essentially, when you have multiple women in your phones texting you back and forth, you can take a breather. You can step back. It's not such a big deal how this goes. We want to pull this all down. The perfect first date for you is low pressure and fun. It's casual, low cost, and it's convenient to you. I'm going to repeat that last part because it's key. Point number one: it is convenient to you. It is low cost. It is casual. It is fun. Your idea in the back of your head is going to be, I wonder if this girl is interesting. I wonder if this girl is as pretty as I remember when I asked for her number. I wonder if this girl is going to like the same things I'd like. You're not trying to please her. You're trying to find out if she fits into your world. And really, that's frame control 101. Remember, frame is what you're made of. It's not a picture frame. Frame is the studs and the foundation that make you the man that you are. So when you invite a woman out for a date, focus first on the specific date and time, and then you can figure out later what's going to be low key and fun for you. And generally, I highly recommend this. Pick a dive bar that's nearby you, or if you're picking her up, nearby her. Well, I'll explain that in a minute. The problem with the expensive restaurants is honestly, and hear this, men, because this seems counterintuitive. When you lay it on thick for this first date, it lowers your attraction. It lowers her attraction for you. You look like a tryhard. You look like a guy that she can just bat her eyes at, and then all of a sudden she's got a $200 dinner or some three-course. So simmer down. When you make this too big, you look less attractive. You're less mysterious. But when you focus on the logistics in your favor, it all of a sudden it makes you look busy. It makes you look like you're not over invested in this. So pick that place that's close to you. I had in when I was dating a lot in Boulder, the Boulder Hotel Bar was perfect because there was easy parking. It was super low key. It was never as busy as the nice restaurants inside. There were like some speakeasies around there, etc. And I could just show up, hang out at a table. Nobody bothered me. I knew a lot of the staff there. When the girl showed up, I got a pint or whatever and got her a drink. And I'm telling you, seriously, one girl showed up. She did not look like she looked like on her profile. And some men want to fall on their sword and say, "Oh, maybe I like her." But to me, no, man, no. Her drink showed up. I had my pint, and I just asked her a few questions to maybe see if this girl was wildly interesting that overcame this not looking what she looked like. But then I just drank half my beer and I sat on the table and I said, "Well, hey, it was so nice meeting you. I gotta go." And I'll never forget, she texted me later. She was like, "That's it? It's over?" And I didn't like I you don't have to go in there and be like, "Oh, you don't look like what you said you did." You don't have to make a big point. My point is for you, you're controlling the logistics. You're setting up the place of meeting in your favor because you want the exit, because you have options. All right, point number 2 for the perfect first date. And when we go through the tips, I'm going to tell you how to set this up cleanly. So I don't want you to get overwhelmed when you hear this second point. But the point number 2 is that you set up a date stack. So always think of that first stop. And I said that you pick a location close to her if you're picking her up. The girl I'm married to now, I did pick her up. In fact, I always encourage it. If you can pick up a girl, it shows courage, it shows strength. You got to be real socially aware. Like today, the times are way different now. You'll almost always have the girl meet you there. We could talk about that more tactically if you want. Just shoot me a message. But in this case, I had messaged her and I said, "Is it more convenient for me to pick you up?" She said yes. And that was great. I instantly set the time, picked her up. But I picked like this little sushi bar where we could sit down and have a beer or sake or wine. And think about what I'm doing in my head right there. The point of that first date is the screening and it's near her home. So if she would have got out of that home and she would have been like, she's missing 7 teeth, all her pictures were photoshopped, or we had this huge clash, I would have said the same thing. Hey, it was really nice meeting you. I've got to go. I'm sorry something came up. Let me drop you back off. And I would have gone that mile away from her home and just dropped her back off or given her an Uber. So logistically speaking, you want it in your favor. Now, the date stack, I knew in the back of my head at that point, if this goes well, pay attention now. If this goes well, if I like her, who likes who? You, right? Are you the guy that likes women? Yes. If I like her, not if she likes me. If I like her, I'm going to invite her to these other two things that I really enjoy. So the perfect first date has a date stack. And some people will say psychologically, this feels like multiple dates. And the pickup artist will tell you you can get in her pants easier. But really, I'm not emphasizing this for you so that you can sleep with the woman faster. Can you? Does it feel like multiple dates? Yes. Have I slept with a girl on the first date? For sure. Oftentimes, I'll tell you, this is when you're really on a roll. I'm pushing girls away on the first date. A lot of them really want to listen. Let's just be real polite here. Girls are ready to go, man. Girls want you to win. That just, if you're charming, if you can put the logistics in your favor, if you can get the frame on your side, girls want you to win. They're ready to go on the first date. Again, though, I'm going to book in that one. Don't do it because it's more fun on the second or third, in my opinion. But anyway, for me in New Orleans, there's Frenchmen. When you're a grown adult in New Orleans, you're not necessarily down in the French Quarter anymore, but there's Frenchmen. There's other places where there's multiple bars, like Midtown, anything right there. So in my head, I know I'm screening this woman, but I have a pre-planned date stack in my mind. So one of the tips that I'll get through at the end of this is you want to have these in the back of your mind, rinse and repeat these, and don't feel bad, man. There is a place in New Orleans called Velvet Cactus. Look it up. And all you women, whoever happen to see this podcast that have ever gone on a first date right with me, oh yeah, he took me to Velvet Cactus. Yeah, I took you all to Velvet Cactus because that's just part of the date stack. That's the way it works. And that little parking area around the corner, all that heavy petting and all that making out of the car, I took you all. We all did the same thing. It's so predictable. And listen, man, I want you to feel this in a good way. I will talk about the apathy of successful dating on another episode, but when you dial this in, it is predictable. It's clockwork. Women want to have fun. Girls want to have fun. And when you decide that you want to have fun too, and you use the 4 point perfect first date framework, you will give them a good time. And it's just all the dominoes fall into place. And by the end of the night, they're like, oh my God, he's walking me to the car. They're ready to kiss you. And it's written all over their body by the end of this perfect first date. Okay. So, your job on the date, always just remember this, is to set a place where you can meet up, have fun, and escalate. That's it. That's the whole model to this. Meet up, have fun, escalate. Don't chase. Don't talk about exes. Don't talk about girlfriends. Meet up, have fun, escalate over and over and over again. And if you do that, you will find this predictability. You have multiple women chasing you down. You have women every week that are in a different phase of the 68 weeks to fall in love that are asking you, where's this going, Chad? The final point on this one, on point number two, when you're setting up the date stack, don't hyper focus on the woman. They want to know what is fun to you. Your job is to show them the man that you are and then to qualify them throughout that to see if they're the type of woman for you. So, if you like arcade games, those adult bars that have arcade games, do that. If you like disc golf, do that. If you like um, breweries that have food trucks, do that. But go do the things that you like, invite her, and while you're having fun, she's going to get swept up in that. And when she's having fun, this sort of chemistry starts taking over the whole date. So, point number three on the perfect first date, you break the physical barrier. And don't overthink this. Don't get creepy on this. I'm just saying there's a lot of stuff that happens online. There's a lot of stuff that happens long distance relationships. Gag me. There's a lot of stuff that happens like all these weird text game motions. No, man, you're not in the game unless you can high five this girl. You're not in the game unless you're touching her leg when you laugh. You're not in the game unless she's grabbing your arm and touching your shoulder and sliding it down. So the key to the perfect first date is to find innocent and fun ways where you can break that physical barrier because what it does is it establishes you as a trustworthy human. It establishes you as a fun, confident guy. It establishes you as friend and not foe. And that's key because girls get hit on all the time. Remember this. Have some empathy for that even. It's like it's an endless gauntlet of guys trying to throw penises at them. So when you finally get a girl out in a low key, fun, casual time where you're setting up the date stack as you go along, when you cross the street, just hold her hand. Or if she's on the vehicle side of the road and you're on a sidewalk, just grab her by the hips and put her over here. And don't make a big deal out of this. I'm not talking about chivalry. I'm not talking about gentlemanly. I'm talking about real socially aware, casual ways to break the physical barrier. High five is my favorite. I do high fives all the time. Hey, you look amazing tonight. You ready to go out? Psh, high five. I mean, before you even sat down at the first bar, you have broken the physical barrier. Do you know what I mean? So find ways. Don't be bashful about this. Don't be bashful about like avoiding her or oh my goodness, did we touch too soon? Don't worry about these things. Just be a person. I know that sounds overly simplified, but be a person. And then point number 4 of the perfect first date, it ends on "I had fun." That's it. That's it. I literally can't tell you how many times I've said these words, and I rarely on this show tell you related to a tactic to like memorize something, but memorize this one. Your date should end with "I had fun." No emojis, no exclamation point, no elaborate poem. Thanks so much for coming out. You're so amazing. I had a wonderful time. No, thank you, Becky. I had fun. And if this girl is sweet and she really likes you, she's going to send you a thank you text. In fact, a lot of women reach out to me, which is very funny because I started this channel to help men, but the women flood to me about what to say this, what does it mean when the guy said that, and they actually pay attention to the advice, so it blows my mind. I love chatting with them. But a question from them all the time is, what do I say after the first date? And as a woman, gratitude and appreciation and "I had fun" is always welcome, especially if you paid for all the drinks and the food, etc. So she'll probably reach out to you when she got home, whatever. Hey, thank you so much for the drinks. I had fun. And just listen, don't sway from this. Take my advice. Respond again. You're so welcome, Becky. I had fun. Period. That's it. Don't overthink the grammar. Don't overthink the mystery here. You just want that to hang so that the book end of this night can close and she can think about all the tension that arises. She can wonder what you're thinking and she can go ask her sister what it means when you texted this. And then we will get you into the communication cadence. We're not going to talk about that in this episode, but there's a set pattern here. You can ask her out again in a few days. You're going to focus on logistics, etc. But for all intents and purposes, on this first one, don't overthink that. At the end of the night, you walked her to her car or you put her in an Uber. Hey, Becky, thanks so much. I had fun. That's the last thing you want her to hear out of your mouth. So, number 4, it ends with say it now. Everyone say it out loud. I had fun. Okay. What did I not say? Let's just rewind this some. Note that I didn't say for the perfect first date you have to kiss. You don't have to kiss. The more sexual tension you guys can build, the better it is when it finally happens. Note that I didn't say you had to have sex. You definitely don't. In fact, the more sexual tension you can build, the better and better it is when you finally do. So you don't have to kiss. You don't have to hook. Don't sweat it. Don't sweat the outcome. Just go out there and be unexpected. Remember that your goal is to meet up, have fun, and escalate. Okay, so 9 tips to pull this off. I'm going to smash through this so we can just write. I'll expand on these in other episodes, but I want you to have them. So, tip number 1, remember that the phone is for logistics. I cannot overstress this enough. The majority of questions I receive nowadays are, what do I say about this? What do I say about that? And that honestly, the answer is get off of it. Stop over communicating. Over communicating is like binge watching Netflix. So you meet this girl, you were on Tinder, Instagram, whatever, and all of a sudden you guys talk for 3 hours and you text for 13 hours. Okay, you just binge watched the show. Well, the next day she doesn't want to watch the show anymore. Really let that sink in. Stop over communicating. The phone is for logistics. Set that definite time and place. Thursday at 7, meet me at wherever. All right. Always lead with when are you free? Remember, you're not trying to wow people with text game. You could Google text game, you could find out better ways to respond over others, but it's logistics and you're leading with when are you free? Because you want this girl in the habit of saying yes. So, hey, whatever joke you had or rapport you had with this girl when you first started, let's get out this week. When are you free? Wait for her to give you a clear date. And if she's not giving you a clear date, then you could just tell her, oh, it doesn't sound like you're free. Hit me up when you are. We'll come back to another episode. Set a definite time and place. Point number 3. Do not dick around with, what do you like? What are you interested in? No, if she says, I'm free Thursday or Friday, if this is an early date, you don't know this girl, save your Friday for a girl you really do like and say, awesome, I'll pick you up Thursday at 7. Or awesome, meet me Thursday at whatever your bar, whatever your screening bar is. Remember the screening bar? Or meet me Thursday at pick someplace close to her, etc. And look, don't go back and forth on like, where are you? Yada yada. Like if you don't know, just set the date in your favor. Have a small collection of go-to first dates. This one's beautiful. The one I had in Houston, it was the same outdoor bar. I don't remember the name of it. I always started there. I always had a series of fun little places that we could go after that. They were easy to get to by car. Also, another thing with understanding your date stack is I did this a lot in New Orleans. because the demographic was a little bit different. But I would meet a girl, we'd meet at the first date place. And then from the first date, if I liked her, I would say, "Hey, do you want to hang out some more? Let's go to Velvet Cactus. I'll take you." So now her car is there. You guys are riding together. That gives you this fun opportunity to do things in the car, like hold her hand, whatever. It's just it's all these things build more trust, build more rapport. 5, put the logistics in your favor. That's essentially the essence of this episode. So don't overthink this. Find the bar near you. Find the most convenient situation for your dating life and invite this girl to it. 6, this is a big one. Listen to this one real quick. If she leans into you, don't flinch. Guys do this a lot. It's like she'll accidentally brush her and they're like, oh, like they got startled. No, women are not dumb. Women are better at this than you. Most women, when they are breaking the physical barrier, they understand what they're doing. What you're going to do is going to be a masculine presence that's there. Don't get creepy and like go grope her. But if she brushes into you, hold firm. Keep your shoulder there. Let her wind around you. This is the cat that's coming to brush up against your leg. Don't flinch. Don't kick the cat. Let the cat brush up against you, but be strong when she does it. It happens the most with legs. Like you're under a table, her leg brushes yours. The natural reaction is to flinch. So leave your leg there and you can like press it in even a millimeter more so that we know this is intentional contact and let her break away. Let her hold it as long as possible. Number 7, recognize when she's ready to kiss you and kiss her. There, I can't do all this. I'm out of time with this one. I'll do another episode on when she's ready to kiss you. But when she's ready to kiss you, she'll look at your eyes, down at your lips, back at your eyes, etc. She'll have this doe in the headlight look about her. It's like it becomes very obvious. In fact, I remember I didn't even know the whole eye lip thing. This one girl, we were at a pool bar, and I felt it, and I said, "Man, are you ready to kiss me?" And and her face lit up. It was so funny. We made out right there in the pool bar, but know when she's ready to kiss you and don't pass that moment off. Number 8, cut it a little earlier than she's expecting. So don't let it dwindle down. I had a buddy of mine in New York. He was an older guy. I told him about this date stack thing, how to do it, which trains to take. Okay, he made the mistake of taking the train back. So they had all had wine and whatever in New York after about 9 p.m. or something. You need to take a cab. There's less traffic. And now you're not sitting down in a subway station awkwardly for 30 minutes waiting on the one train. So you don't want to be in this situation where it's like dragged on and she's bored and you know what to do now. Number 9. Number 9. Listen to me, men. Go communication silent after your first date. Comms silent. Let me tell you about what this looks like. I had 2 amazing first dates. One with the woman I'm married to now, one with some other girl that went into all that heavy petting around Velvet Cactus, whatever. The next day, I got up, I put my running shoes on, I went for a run. They're both following me on social media. I just put a little story of myself on the run. That's it. I'm not texting them. I'm not seeing how their morning went. No good morning, beautiful. No, hey, hope you have a wonderful day. Comms silent. We're just going to leave this episode on that because you will blow it all if you just start trying to win the heart of this woman on the text, on the phone. It's for logistics only. So do not go home and text her all these sweet things, all this good night. Distance makes the heart grow fonder. Remember that. If you like this episode, I want you to hit like and subscribe. If you're a single guy that's over 30 and you want to talk more about this, send me a DM. Find me on 4x4recall.com. You can find me on Instagram. You can reach out to me here on YouTube as well. I'll see you in the next one.